Thanks for tuning in to S&M Radio. I'm Shanon.
And I am Mark.
And you are listening to the episode that we are dedicating to It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown.
So this is the children's episode of S&M Radio.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. The family-friendly episode.
Well, you know, it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is one of those things that I think it's for all ages. So, yeah, everybody, you know, come up here, come up to the to your speaker or whatever you're listening to us from, your smartphone, and kick back and, you know, grab a seat, and I think you'll all enjoy.
When we first started talking about doing this one, which the first thing that I thought of was, how are we going to spin It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown as a horror movie?
Yeah, well, it may not be technically a horror movie, but it's Halloween related, and it's a staple in terms of, you know, Halloween viewing. So even if you've got your list of movies you're going to see, and sure, they're going to include Halloween and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, whatever else, most people are going to probably put this in the list as well.
The other aspect of it, too, that I was trying to think of a spin mechanism to put on it would be the fact that Linus spends his entire Halloween night alone in a pumpkin patch. There's no way in hell I would do that.
Would you let your kids spend the night in a pumpkin patch?
No, not at all. But come to think of it, the Peanuts, did they ever have parents? Did you ever see a parent on that show?
No, and actually it's funny you say that, because it was Lucy who goes out to go get Linus because he's freezing cold because he's sleeping in the pumpkin patch, and it wasn't the mom, it wasn't the dad, it was the big sister who had to take that role because the parents were off doing whatever, who knows.
Probably getting drunk.
Yeah, they were out partying at the Peanuts character. Adults went and hung out and talked like horns and whatever. The
only adult Peanut characters you ever had any interaction with was the teacher.
Yeah, and then did they start putting adults in later on, or like at least their legs or something? Or I'm thinking of something else maybe.
Maybe. So, for those of you that live under a rock and have no idea what the hell we're talking about, this is the annual holiday special from the Peanuts that was made famous back in, I think it started in maybe the 50s? Maybe the 60s. I'm not actually sure when the Peanuts actually started off. But this was the third Peanuts special. Their second holiday special, following a Charlie Brown Christmas that came out the year before. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown made its television debut back in 1966 and actually aired on CBS from 1966 until the year 2000. And then in 2001, ABC picked up the rights for it, and it's been airing annually on ABC every year since then. I think actually it airs on ABC, and then I think it airs on ABC Family and probably a few other Disney-owned channels throughout the year.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those cartoons. I'm actually a big fan of Halloween-themed cartoons. I have a whole list of them that I watch every year, and this one I am actually going to watch tonight. It's going to be our little. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown evening. So we've got some, and you got to watch it with, you got to get some Halloween cookies or some cupcakes or something just to kind of add to the whole experience. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. Do you remember the first time you saw this cartoon?
I do not. I would imagine I was fairly young. This is one of those things that is shown, like we said earlier, is shown annually, and it's kind of goes along the same lines of how The Grinch Stole Christmas is shown every year. Rudolph is shown every year, and then the other holiday special that we already talked about with Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown Christmas, is shown every year. And then for certain people of a certain age, myself included, probably you as well, Mark. I don't know if your family did this or not. The Wizard of Oz was shown annually every year as well on network television, and I remember watching that when I was a kid. I don't think that's shown every year on network television. It might be shown on cable every year. I remember watching a Charlie Brown, or It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, when I was a little kid.
Yeah, I think I remember the first time I saw it. I probably saw it numerous times in school. I don't know if it must have been the first time or close to, but it was, I had, for some reason, it was Halloween week, and we were at my grandparents' house. And I remember it was a big deal for some reason, Halloween or Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown's coming on, and, they were really prepping me for it. Fast forward to, I got married, had kids and all that, and it was definitely, as soon as I had kids, it was something that I picked up the DVD, and it became like our regular October viewing. So I've been watching it every year for at least at a minimum of like 16, 17 years. So I'm very familiar with this cartoon.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I would have to say too, I watch it almost every year, if not every year.
And it's funny because it's short. It's not really that long, but it really kind of captures the spirit, It really, from the fall, the changeover from summer to fall, and they've got the trick-or-treating, the Halloween party, all that stuff. And then, like, obviously, like the mythology, the Great Pumpkin, the kid believing that there's going to be some sort of Santa Claus-like character coming to visit him, which was kind of interesting because it's like, like a great pumpkin, that's not something that, you ever really think of. It was kind of created in this cartoon.
I like to think of it that Pumpkinhead from the 1988 or 1987 horror movie was coming to the pumpkin patch. And if Linus would have been awake, then Pumpkinhead would have taken some revenge on him for something or another.
Yeah, it's probably best he fell asleep then.
Probably, yeah. So one of the funny things with this movie goes in line with what you were just talking about, is that it is fairly short, and this is one of the things that I did not know about this until just today, actually, when I was doing some research on it. But there's actually a couple of different edits of this cartoon out there. CBS made a couple telecast edits to it, make sure that it fit in the allotted time. And then ABC, once they took over, made some different edits to it as well. One of their other, what is becoming an annual tradition, the Toy Story of Terror.
Oh, yeah.
Special has time to air as well. So there's a couple of scenes that were cut and edited out a little bit of it for that, which is kind of interesting when you think of a show that's been on the air for almost, let's see here, 50 years almost.
Holy crap. What is your favorite part of this cartoon?
My favorite part of this cartoon would have to be when they are getting their costumes together. They essentially are all different versions of bed sheet ghost.
Right.
Because evidently when you lived in whatever town the Peanuts lived in, that was what you had.
That's what you were. You were a ghost or you were a witch. If you were Lucy, at least. Well,
and the one thing with it though is Lucy was wearing a bed sheet.
Oh, she wasn't she?
Yes, she was. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So she's like a witch ghost.
Nice.
So should we go ahead and do our traditional spoiler and give the entire thing away? Or?
Oh, of course. We got to spoil this one terribly. Come on. If you haven't seen Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown in October, then you really don't deserve to live, I don't think.
The whole thing starts off with Linus writing his annual letter to the Great Pumpkin, even though pretty much everybody is telling him that he's wasting his time and the Great Pumpkin is fake. And then trick-or-treating, except for Linus. Linus goes to the pumpkin patch and somehow convinces Sally to accompany him to the pumpkin patch. And then, and then they go trick-or-treating and everybody gets candy and money and gumballs and popcorn balls, and except for old Chuck. He gets rocks.
Poor guy.
And then they go visit the pumpkin patch after they're done trick-or-treating, and then they go to a Halloween party. And this is one of the weirder things in this movie, or in this TV show. Even to this day, every time I see it, I still find it kind of a little bit odd. In the midst of all this stuff, there is this weird sequence in the middle of the episode where
I know where you're going with this.
Snoopy is dressed up as the Red Baron. He climbs up on top of his doghouse, goes into fantasy world or whatever, and he's driving or he's flying this airplane in World War I, and he's fighting off the enemy and is victorious, I guess. I mean, he doesn't die, so even now when I see it, I'm still kind of like, well, what the... That's just weird.
Yeah, I think I finally figured it out with the World War I flying ace scene and what this was all about. The only thing I can possibly come up with, okay, so you got a bunch of kids watching this, and the parents are watching this. Parents are probably having a few beers. The kids are probably drinking soda, whatever. So the World War I flying ace scene is the pee break. That's when you're supposed to get up, go to the bathroom, do your thing, and come back. That's the only explanation I can get for adding that whole sequence into the film.
It's just weird.
It is weird. It doesn't. It's not Halloween-y. It doesn't really add to the vibe of the story. It just it's like left field, and it's kind of boring.
When you're at the Paul McCartney concert and he's like, okay, and the next 4 songs are off the new record.
Exactly.
Yeah, so then it goes from that, and then we see this shadowy character in the pumpkin patch with Linus and Sally, and then we turn out, or not we, it turns out to only be Snoopy. Sally gets pissed off, and she stomps off. And then it kind of cuts to the next morning, I guess. Linus slept in the pumpkin patch all night. His big sister comes to get him, brings him home, puts him in bed. And then the whole thing ends with good old Charlie Brown trying to console little old Linus by telling him that, he's done stupid stuff in his day as well. And then, of course, Linus gets all pissed off and is like, you're wrong. The Great Pumpkin is real. I'll prove you wrong next year. He's going to come and he's going to give me a Ferrari and diamonds and $1 million.
Yeah. Poor Linus. Yeah, it's kind of a nice little ending there where Charlie Brown ends up being kind of the underdog again, or whatever you want to call him. So let me ask you this question. What did you think that the Great Pumpkin would look like if he did actually show up?
Did you ever see it would have been sometime in the 80s, what was supposed to be the sequel to Wizard of Oz?
Yeah. Return to Oz?
Right. There's a character in that movie, which is from the books of the Wizard of Oz, Jack the Pumpkinhead. That's always what I've kind of envisioned that he would look like. Weird, like, kind of scarecrow kind of character with a pumpkin head.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think that's pretty much what I envisioned. I envisioned basically like a giant pumpkin-headed character coming out of the ground or whatever, and that would have been the Great Pumpkin, probably with a cape or something. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I would
kind of thought it was like a jack-o'-lantern headed phantom.
Instead of a cape, with a big old bag of goodies over his shoulder. So, kind of
yeah.
lumbering off and like, hey, kids, here's some treats and here's a fire truck and blah, 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 blah.
Very cool. Hopefully he had Kit Kats because I love Kit Kats.
Here's the trick, everybody. You wait till the day after Halloween, and then that's when you go Halloween candy shopping because all the Halloween-themed candy will be on sale.
That's a great idea. Get your candy on November 1st. I like that.
This is our final Halloween-themed episode of this year. So hopefully you guys enjoyed what we kind of put together this year. Being a horror-themed podcast, I get this a lot, especially this time of year, is, Halloween must be your time of the year, huh?
Absolutely.
And turns out it is. So I know we kind of oversaturated you guys this month, especially we've put out 4 episodes. Technically, we put out the first one at the very tail end of September, but we got 4 Halloween-themed episodes out this year, so hopefully you guys enjoyed them. If you have any suggestions for future Halloween episodes, or you want to leave us any feedback on what we did or what we should have done or anything along those lines, feel free to drop us a line. Contact information is coming up. Happy Halloween.
And enjoy your trick-or-treating.